Dead Scared Entertainment takes pleasure in presenting Verda Darano, a journey into the phantasmagoric lands of folklore, literature, theater, and film. In the centuries-old tradition of the Romani people, we bring to you stories of superstition, fantasy, and adventure. There's no turning back. The Verda approaches.
Latchi Ratyi Miro Amal. Good evening, friend. I'm Esma Kallai. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't take you for the hesitant type. If you're friends with me, you know we move head-on into the fray. Danger to us is like brains to the zombie, or a good pair of kamashi on sale. In some ways, life isn't worth living if we don't stray from the straight and narrow path into the unknown, even the esoteric at times. Isn't that what makes being scared just so satisfying? I know we think so, but our friend tonight, Martinez of Done by Design, has his limits. Like any red-blooded human in these modern times, he enjoys a good horror picture, can't get enough of them. But when the scares become reality, when you can't change the channel and walk away, that's when his line is drawn. When was the line drawn for him? Well, in our usual fashion, it's time to journey into the world of the fantastic, the world of fear. And there's a seat right next to me on this Verda Amal. Are you all settled in? Good. Because it's time to find out.
Hello, DSE fans. Today we have a very dear friend of mine, Ray Martinez, Chicago's top fashion runway director,
Top. You hear that?
420 photographer and videographer, brand developer extraordinaire.
Wow.
And he is also a proud vet.
Thank
Look
you
at
for
that.
your service.
Oh, man, you're welcome. I did it for you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
that.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, what's up? That was an awesome introduction.
Thanks.
Wow, but you missed on a lot of things. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was great. No, I appreciate it.
Well,
No, please
okay.
continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me more about me.
Yeah.
I like to hear it all.
That's awesome. Oh,
So, Ray, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Me, again, like you I go off of everything you mentioned. I am a Marine Corps veteran. I'm a war veteran. I'm very happy to announce that my dispensary just opened. So that's very exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm part of the 1937 group, one of the original founders, and so co-owner, co-founder, built that bad boy together with my guys. We built a dispensary, a craft grow, transportation company, and a security company in cannabis. So we're vertically integrated. Very proud to be a
Amazing.
black, brown, minority company that to be able to pull that off here in Illinois.
wow.
Super dope.
That's amazing.
Dude, check this out. Let me just spiel on this really fast
Go
though.
for it.
So our dispensary is called Parkway Dispensary, and this dispensary also has a smoke lounge, right? I don't know if you guys are smokers, right?
I am.
Yeah, you are.
Every now and then, depending
Yeah,
on the day.
cool. I know Kel is. I just didn't want to say anything. Yeah, but so Parkway Dispensary has a smoke lounge, right? There's a couple of them here in the state of Illinois, but the cool thing about Parkway Dispensary, it also has a restaurant in it, an event space so you can rent it to throw a party.
Mhm.
It has a little casino spot for like slot machines, so it's got a gaming room and outside venue for like concerts and like just big ass parties. All cannabis friendly, 21 and over. Like it's a big old fucking adult complex.
Wow, yeah. Carlos.
Use a promo code
Yeah.
TEL00 to get 00 off. But you can throw your event there.
Yeah, there's already people who want to plan their weddings there.
Wow.
Yeah, 21 and over. You know, it's a great reason not to invite kids. You know, you're gonna be like, yo, I can't have kids here, man. Smart, right?
Yeah.
Because fucking who likes kids at weddings?
Yeah.
They're
Period.
fucking obnoxious. I don't care whose kids there. They could be my kids. They're fucking gross.
It's true. You're
Running
constantly watching
around.
them. Yep.
You know, the fucking father-daughter dance. Your fucking 3-year-old is doing stupid shit. Like, it's embarrassing.
$60 shirt from Macy's, Calvin Klein. They're wiping the floor with it.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's
fucking
true.
obnoxious. Dude. No one likes kids at weddings. They're
Nope.
gross.
It's true.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, now we know. Definitely, we're gonna be chilling. What was it called again? So that way.
Park-
So
Parkway.
the Parkway Dispensary,
Parkway
Helios
Dispensary.
Labs is the grow facility.
Okay.
We have a couple brands coming out of there, and then it's Highwaymen for the transportation company and Green Light Security for the security company.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
Oh, that's amazing. So that's what you're up to. So in terms of now, we kind of got like the present state. So where did you like? Tell us a little bit about your background. Let's go as far back as you can.
So I was a little crackhead, right?
Perfect.
I was the one running around in weddings, right? No, I'm just kidding.
No, we all started that way. I think we all did.
No, I think my parents were cool and they understood not to take kids to weddings.
Mm.
So I don't have any photos of me being at a wedding, except for one actually. My uncle's wedding when he was a Marine. He had a Marine Corps wedding, and that's what got me wanting to be a Marine because I got to wear a little outfit.
Nice.
So I was in my little baby dress blues in his wedding as a ring bearer.
Nice.
And ever since that day was like, I want to be a Marine. And I did it. So yeah. But anyways, I'm sorry. Let's carry on. Why are we here? Let's go.
Well, that's really what it is. Is okay. So with that being said, you being the Marine, like where did you serve at? What was like kind of like that experience like?
Marine Corps service. I started off obviously West Coast, so it's not that too obvious. There's 2 spots to go. I went west. I was a Hollywood Marine. Did our training out there, and then after my duty station, when I got into Camp Pendleton, California, I got sent to Kuwait and Iraq for first OEF and OIF, and then I went to Fallujah for Operation Iraqi Freedom 2 Tech 2.
Nice.
So yeah, about 3 years of my service was based deployed out there.
Huh.
Yeah.
So what was it like out there for those who have probably no clue what it is to leave America, let alone just like understand the
Well,
territory?
I mean, I've left the United States plenty of times to travel, but it's scary shit. You know what I mean? Just knowing that like you can lose friends at any time or lose like combatants. I don't know. It's crazy. It's a shitty thought.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if we're religious here, but that's one of the
Well-
reasons why I'm like not really big on religion. When you go out there and you see all that shit and everyone's fighting based on their god, like it's sad. You know, it kind of pulls you away.
I can see where you're coming from. You
Yeah.
know, just all that suffering and stuff. But at the same time, in the end, it's all you're doing things at least with the intention of creating a better world for those around you.
You know, that's what we think.
Exactly.
That's what we think. I mean, I'm not anti-patriotism or anti-American, but you know, we're out there killing people, and it's sad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And sometimes makes you wonder if you're killing the right people. You know, or should I be the one that should be getting killed? You know? Yeah. Anyways, just my little fucking,
Yeah.
you know, my little scent on that.
Got you. Well, not to kind of take
And
it.
there's a different side of me, Kel, that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, I just want you to know that because when you know, I'm also part of, you know, a founder of Done by Design. So my other life is like in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not what I am right now.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
See, I bring it this whole new side of
Yeah.
people out. I love that stuff. This is what I love about this medium, you know. So speaking of that, how did you go from, you know, being in the Marine Corps all the way into working within fashion?
So I've always liked photography,
Gotcha.
and I did photography in high school, and then you know, always got new cameras and loved taking pictures and being creative. Then I ended up joining the military. Did that for about 8 years. I didn't want to continue the military. I thought about joining the police department. I did apply. I got accepted. I turned it down. And friends called me for photography, wanting to get headshots done for their theater. So I did it, and I continued shooting people, but this time with a camera. So I stuck that way, you know. So it's a good way to look at it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Took a different type of aim. I dig
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I dig it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. So in terms of shooting people, in terms of the on a lighter
Dark.
side of
Dark.
killing. Oh, you'll get to know me very well. Very dark. Very
Those
dark.
eyes, bro. How do you live with that, Kel?
Don't.
Oh my God.
Let's not go there. I'll kill myself.
Rather charming.
No,
don't you
that's
think?
dark too. Don't say that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right.
My God, we just got dark as fuck.
So, well, speaking on the darker side of things, what was Halloween like growing up, and what was like, that experience? Did you guys celebrate Halloween growing up, and what was sort of the fall time like for you? as a
So
kid?
Halloween, growing up, was probably and still to this day my favorite fucking day or
Nice.
week. Like it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
There are many fucking crazy stories on how Halloween started,
Mhm.
but the idea now as an American celebrating just a way to dress up and nerd the fuck out
Yeah.
is like my favorite thing. I had a friend who had birthdays. His birthday was on Halloween, so he had the best fucking birthday
Oh my
parties.
god.
Yeah, those are always the best.
Yeah, they're fucking
How
dope.
lucky.
Yeah.
Right.
Lucky.
Like being born on October 31st and throwing dope ass fucking costume parties for your birthday every fucking year is dope as fuck.
Damn. I wish I was born on October
Right.
31st.
It's dope, man.
It's true.
I mean, you really technically don't have to be born on the 31st, but at least that weekend.
At least, yeah, around there.
And you can throw Halloween parties for your birthday. Everyone's coming. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
dope.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
So was that like something that you like grew up like visiting, like kind of like attending a lot? Was like
My entire life. My parents, my mom specifically is very creative. So she always, if she had to sew it, she would sew our costume, buy our costume, mix our costume, make a costume, fucking everything and anything to make a costume.
nice.
Yeah, I was a Reese's peanut butter cup once as a child, like, and she made it herself. You know what I mean? Like everything. And then she got upset when I got to the age of like 7 and I wanted those like $10 plastic costumes. So she got upset, was heartbroken because she couldn't make it anymore. But that
So
lasted
how old are you?
3-4 years. Who you asking me?
She knows me.
No, me. I'm 42.
And there was plastic costumes still?
Yeah, there were those shitty plastic costumes that you put your mask on.
The mask on, yeah.
Yeah, 1987.
I was just gonna
The
say he's
80s,
talking
yeah.
80s. Yeah, they
Okay,
still have
okay,
them
yeah.
around, Thundercats and all that.
Fuck yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't even around.
I was a fucking Optimus Prime plastic fucking
Nice.
yeah. I mean, to me it was dope, but the idea of making your costume now, like I do it for my kids. It's fucking cool.
Oh, I love that.
I like put shit together and I made my son Damian Wayne one year.
Get out.
Yeah. So I nerd the fuck out, bro.
Oh, that's
He was
awesome.
Yoda one time when I took him to Comic-Con.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a
He's
fucking
big
nerd.
Comic-Con guy.
Oh, I love that. Nah, seriously.
Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd, bro.
I'm a regular C2E2 goer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back when Wizard World was still a thing,
Yep.
same thing. Constantly hitting that stuff. So I mean, I'm glad. I got a new friend right here. You heard this here, folks.
No.
Let's go.
We got another geek
Oh yeah,
to the
man.
squad.
I'm a fucking gamer. Are you a gamer?
That's the one thing. I watch too many movies to be playing games.
You watch too many movies. What does that even mean? What kind of movies? There's only so many movies to watch, bro.
See, that's the thing. Most people today will like say like, oh, like contemporary stuff. Like I go back. Like I mean, like in terms of like the things I love, I'm talking like silent films, 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm literally going through the whole fucking history.
Yeah,
of
but you're telling me
cinema.
you don't play video games because of that. So are you watching 3-4 movies a day?
Usually at least two.
Shit, that's a lot.
2 plus YouTube videos plus drawing.
So
plus
you're
running
filled
around
with
them.
useless information, right?
Well, for the most part, if
Yeah.
you consider like cinematography,
Yeah,
like
and I mean it,
dialogue, all that.
and I don't mean it
Yeah.
like as an insult, but like
No,
there's
no,
so
no.
many times where people are having conversations, and I'm like, I know the answer to that
Yeah.
for no fucking, and it's not going to
Exactly.
save anyone's life, but it's useless information.
Oh yeah, too many movie quotes.
Yeah. Oh, I fucking movie quote my fucking ass off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I live through movie quotes.
Yeah.
Honestly, we quote on a daily basis. Young Frankenstein, Nacho Libre. What else do we quote on a daily
Comedy quotes. I
Bench
love it.
warm-
Benchwarmers.
basis? Big Daddy, Little
Hot
Nicky,
Rod.
Hot Rod.
Not a fan.
Oh my God, you're not a fan?
No, that's fucking bench warmers.
Oh, bench. Oh yeah.
Not a fan.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
The moon. Not a fan.
PlayStation.
PlayStation. Yeah, I nerd the fuck out, bro.
I
Same
love
thing.
it. I love it.
That's useless information. I'm fucking quoting movies all day, and then I'm always like looking around. No one gets it. No, all right, cool. High five me. Yep.
This is great. I love this. So okay. So speaking of which, and the fact that you're nerding out on like this stuff with us, what would you say is your relationship with horror films and like just sort of that genre, the drilling stuff? Did you love that growing up?
I fucking love horror films.
You do.
Love them.
What's your favorite?
My God, they're so good. So recently, within the last like 15 years, I really liked. Is it Insidious? Is that what that one's called?
Yeah.
I really like that series.
Why?
I feel like there could be so many different ways. I hope I'm right talking about the right one. It's the one where the guy's making the kids kill his parents, right? Their parents? Or is that not Insidious? That has to be Insidious.
Hold up, because now you're getting.
I
me to
wouldn't
kinda,
know. I
like,
don't watch.
trace-
You don't watch fucking horror films?
She doesn't watch them.
Ah.
Like outside of like the I mean the 30s, 40s, like the Universal monsters, maybe some of the Hammer films. She's seen like more or less like the stuff that came out through the 80s. You've seen Freddy. You've seen
Yeah, those are like the other classics. That's,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So she's seen that stuff, but in terms
Anything that has to deal with like demonic occultism, possession, that sort of thing.
Those are
I'm
scary
out.
as fuck.
I'm
That's-
out.
Those are scary
see
as
that's
fuck.
the stuff that I used to actually see if I could still get scared. You know, like when you
No.
gotta like kind of do like a
And you don't get scared of that shit?
I don't anymore.
You're fucking crazy, bro.
No.
See,
Like, I
here,
know
let me
it's
tell you something
real.
about me. Let me tell you something
Go
about
ahead,
me
go
since
ahead,
this
go ahead.
podcast is about me right now, right?
Yeah. That's right.
No, but all right. So like, I like scary shit, especially shit that I know is not real. Chucky doll is not fucking real. You know what I
But
mean?
that got us fucking
Freddy
horrible.
Krueger is not fucking
Yeah.
real. You know, the idea of him is dope as fuck, right?
Totally.
So
Love the
scary
concept.
movies are fucking awesome. The ones I don't like are the religious based ones because I feel like that shit can happen.
There
You know
you
what I
go.
mean? And those are the ones that actually fucking flip me out because it shows you like the priests doing shit or the nuns or there's that one crazy bitch nun that's fucking demonic as fuck, you know? And I'm like, yo, that can happen.
Exactly.
Like, fuck that. Like,
See-
those are the scary ones that are like legit scary.
See, this is what I do. In terms of like just for the shits and giggles, like I just want to pass some time or just because I love them, I'll watch stuff like Chucky or like Jason or
Yeah, those
you
are
know-
fun.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know that to some extent it's not happening whatsoever. But
But then you also have sickos like that watch those movies and genuinely want to become a person like that.
well, of
Oh, yeah, but
course.
that's everything.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a sicko, and not everyone, but there's a lot of sickos that try to fucking portray a movie and try to be
Right.
that character.
Well, think about like like a lot of people that want to be like Superman, you
Yeah.
know, and they end up working out every damn day of their lives. You know, there's also that too.
Yeah.
For me, knowing that these things could potentially happen gives me that sense of actual horror, actual terror, actual fear, because I know it's real. So it's like, say for example, have you seen Cannibal Holocaust?
Cannibal Holocaust I
Came
have
out
not.
in the 70s.
No.
Okay, it's an Italian film. So I'm going like grunge, like grunge, like grindhouse. Take it back, not grunge, grindhouse type.
Okay.
This is how far I go into horror films. So that or like I don't know if you heard of like the Serbian film. I've seen that. That's considered the worst film that's ever been created, just bar none. Like more or less because of how much I've watched, it's like good luck trying to essentially get me to say like, damn, that's scary. So for me, it's like the fact that there is realism behind things. That's what gives me the chills because I'm
Right.
so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
desensitized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's why there's your explanation as to why I don't play video games as much as I would love to though. I'll take recommendations and if I got the time,
He ain't
I'll
gonna do it.
He ain't gonna do
He
it.
ain't gonna do it.
He ain't gonna do it.
He's not.
do it.
Do you have you seen, since you like independent films and all that, did you see that what is it called? Something Detective, the Freddy Krueger movie, the new movie that was made.
Oh, the documentary or something?
No, it wasn't a documentary. It's a new fan film that was made for the backstory of Freddy Krueger.
I have not seen that.
Yeah,
Heard of that.
it's on YouTube. It's really dope, and it's the same character who played Freddy Krueger, the original, or not the original, the last one that came out, the little shorter guy.
Okay.
Well, they did his makeup really well. That he makes him look like Robert Englund. So it's him, just really fast. It's him. The story is about a detective who found out he was the killer, but in order for him to do it, he had to falsify a warrant. And because he falsified the warrant to find out Freddy Krueger was the killer, Freddy Krueger was let go. So now the story that we know, the parents burned him down. Remember?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's because of that. So it's pretty dope, man.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, and what I just told you doesn't ruin the movie. It's like legit in the words before the movie starts.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's why I said that part. But yeah, no, it's kind of cool, man, because it's a story between him, Freddy Krueger, and the detective. So it's fucking trippy as fuck. I couldn't finish it. That's how weird it was.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm sure you'll like it.
Oh yeah.
It's on YouTube. It's a YouTube film.
And what was the name of that one?
Something detective of something.
I'll try to look into
Yeah,
that.
but sure you Google Freddy Krueger detective or the last. I think it was the last something of detective, whatever his name was.
Okay.
Yeah, the last case, I think it was. Something of something.
Something of Freddy something.
Kelly, you're quiet. Say something.
Well, when we talk about scary things, I let everyone else talk because I don't like to talk about these things. I'm just here.
You're
To
just
be
here?
honest,
To some extent.
I'm
I
just
mean,
here.
you could still chime in with some questions.
sometimes if
Like, I
if I
mean,
know enough
You
about
have
what I'm
a
saying.
list in front of you too, in terms
Well,
of.
I know that, but I'm saying like, I don't know shit about Freddy Krueger. What am I gonna say? It's a good movie. What do you want me to say? I don't know.
They were good.
Yeah.
Some of them were fucking stupid, but they were good.
Oh yeah.
You know what was really stupid? How
That's a
we-
great song though.
That's what got me. Like, there's so many little bits and pieces as to why I realized I love horror. But like, when our older cousins used to come by the house, they would sing that constantly, and my ass would be scared shitless because I'm thinking, holy fuck, there's this guy Freddy. I never heard of him in my life. This was when we were really young, but he's coming to get me. And I gotta get like the crucifix. I got to do the whole thing because, mind you, devout Catholics. That's how we grew up.
Our parents
So far.
never had horror movies on.
We barely ever, and the only ones that we did watch.
The
this-
first-
So what did your
one?
parents scare you with?
God.
So God, it was just
Yes
an
and no.
evil motherfucker, right?
Well, no. It was just don't do bad things because God's gonna get mad.
Right, an evil motherfucker.
Well, he's not evil.
Well, why would he hurt you?
He's not gonna hurt you.
So then what are you worried about then?
They're referring
But
to
we
like the
didn't
Old
know.
Testament
As,
version
like,
of God.
As children, you're scared because you're like, oh no, what is he going to do?
Right, that's my point. So in your mind, even as a child, you don't really think he's evil, but in your mind, like, fuck, you're worried about someone hurting you. Even though you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, why else would they fucking threaten you with the fucking perfect being? You know?
Okay.
You're raised thinking God is this almighty fucking perfect fucking person, but yet they're threatening you with him. Like, it's weird.
Okay, well, yeah, but also at the same time, look at your parents, right?
No, but you don't think it's weird.
Um,
God is this perfect fucking being, but yet you're being threatened by him
It's-
or threatened
okay.
because of him.
this is what's weird.
Go
the
ahead.
fact that my parents would even use something of that sort to scare me is
Right.
weird.
That's my point.
Not the fact that God is the way that He is. Now, let me hold on.
Go ahead.
I wish I had
When-
an organ for this, bro. Oh, you know, a little gospel. You know.
Now, here's the thing. I know my mother and father are not going to kill me, right? They're not going to stab me or do something utterly insane to me. Thank God I was blessed with good parents, right? As a child, I thought they were out to get me as well. Because it's, you do that, I'm not giving you this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. So it's that same thing. It's the same mirrored relationship. You don't know what God's going to do. You know God's not going to, like, actually do something bad to you, but it's the guilt.
But why don't you think he's
No,
going to do
but
something bad?
what he will do, I'm sorry to interject,
Go for it.
he will
burn motherfucker.
burn you for all
He'll
of
drown,
eternity.
He'll drown
if you don't eat your
motherfucker.
vegetables.
Right. That's it's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, no,
Like you get threatened by him, by this almighty perfect being, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, he's punishing you and hurting you by sending you to hell.
but
or-
it's according to what your
or-
people are telling you. It's not according to actually what, like, God believes in.
Well, do you
God's
believe
not
in
gonna let you
everything
into
God
heaven
did? All
if
the
you're not
evil
gonna-
shit that God did? Do you believe in that? The salt. He turned people into salt. He's drowned motherfuckers. He's like, do you believe in all that bad shit he
Yes.
did?
Everybody.
Right. This
Yeah.
motherfucker's got a fucking KD of like 1 trillion,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
yes.
so yeah, I mean, that's an evil motherfucker.
He's not evil. I'm a Catholic. Thank you.
So killing isn't evil.
No. From
Whoa.
God.
Whoa.
From God. No.
So if God kills, it's
Don't
all
play
right.
this shit with me.
So you can be like, God, please kill this motherfucker.
No, because as an actual true Catholic, I don't think you would ask God to kill somebody. That's just
Carlos,
not
you
what
gotta
you're
join in
supposed
on
to
this.
do.
there goes Carlos. What's
We
up,
have Carlos.
Carlos?
How's it
What's
going,
up?
Carlos?
I'm back.
That's right. We have Carlos Medina. Here
Done
with
by
us.
design, everybody.
Done by Design Studio podcast room. Let's go. No, but that's what I mean, and I don't mean to like talk shit about religions, right? And that's not exactly where I'm going. Yeah, I made a little fun out of it, but that's the shit I'm talking about. Growing up that way, you are fucking threatened by him, and going.
Yeah, threatened. Yes.
Yeah, but going to school and catechism and all that shit, you're learning all the fucking evil shit he did. You're learning about all that shit, and
All the stuff he's capable of doing to you.
not just capable, but the shit he's already done, and then they make up other shit that he's gonna send you to hell. Like fuck. Like, holy shit. You know what I mean? As a kid, it fucking scares the fuck out of you.
And then keep in mind, that's just one side of it. Imagine the whole other side, that there's literally the antithesis of his existence that is out to literally steal your soul from grace itself as well. So just like demons in general. So it's like you're fighting in some ways. I'm just to kind of like to play devil's advocate in this case. Literally, this is
No
hilarious.
pun intended.
I think he was.
Is the fact that
Pun intended.
in some ways it's like it's either you do good in general, this is how you're raised, or you're fucked. Either way, really, whether something's coming for you or you're getting what you deserve in the end. And see, this is why I love these types of movies. To circle it back, thank you very much. You're welcome. Is the fact that these things can happen, and it is all based on your ability to understand right and wrong, and also to understand that there are entities, whether you believe it or not, that are out in this world that act upon your existence as well. That's why those movies scare me the most, because I know
Yeah, I agree with
it's
that. They are
your
scary.
existence and your choices that in some ways affect the way that your life goes forward. That's why, like personally, I won't mess with a Ouija board.
I won't either. I won't
Like,
either.
You can't.
Why?
like,
You're
have.
scared?
you have.
Okay, let me
Hold
tell
up.
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
Hold on
All
to
right,
that thought, Carlos.
Let me tell you this. Again, I don't fuck with religion, right? And I mean any religion whatsoever. I don't fuck with it. I don't fuck with Ouija boards. When I bought my house, I was like, yo, if there's something here, make a sign, drop, break a mirror, fucking something. And I won't buy it, and I will leave. I'll sell my fucking house. I waited for 10 minutes to hear a fucking sound, something. And I didn't. Like, I won't fuck with it. If someone's telling me, yo, all right, look, can I tell you about like some shit that's happened to me in my life?
Yes.
Go.
That's what
All
we
right,
want.
is that why we're here, right?
That's why we're here.
All right. Again, I've always been like that. I don't fuck with that shit, right? If someone's like, "Yo, my house is haunted," I'm not going. And other people are like, "Hey, let's go investigate." You know, I'm not the white guys in the movies. You know, I'm not them. I don't fuck with them. I don't walk in those rooms. I don't do any of that shit. So growing up, my grandfather has a farm in Mexico in San Luis Potosí. Right, I hear all kinds of crazy stories that they've been telling us about all this gold that's in our fucking land and all this shit. So not until recently, my grandfather just passed away. But no, you're good, man. He lived a long life, 94 years old. So before he passed, I went to Mexico and he gave my brother and I the land. Okay, he gave us the land because he was passing it to my mother. And my mother's like, look, I'm never gonna go down there. I'm gonna end up giving it to my boys. So I'm just gonna pass it to them. My grandfather was like, all good, no problem. He's like, Ray, take me to Mexico. Let's take care of all this. So we did that, right? My mother tells me before I leave, find the suitcase with all the songs my grandfather wrote. He wrote a lot of songs, like a suitcase fucking filled with songs. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're out there for a week, right? Forgot all about it. I finally get connection. And I get a message from my mom saying, don't forget the suitcase. I was like, shit, it was the last day. We're leaving in like 4 hours. So good thing I got this message. I walk into my grandfather's bedroom with my grandfather, 3 of my uncles, and my cousin Jess. And I'm like, yo, I need the suitcase. And they're like, oh, we don't know where it's at, blah, blah, blah. And my grandfather's like, it's probably in this room. And this room is one of the hardest rooms to get into, right? It's always locked and it's a bitch to open. Like, it's been like that our entire life, right? So my grandfather's like, just go in that room and look at it. And I was like, fuck that. Because I know there's some scary shit in that room. I heard stories, right?
Sure.
And my cousin's like, fuck no. He's like, I'm not going in there, you know, or he's like, I don't even have the key. And my grandfather says these words: just go. It's your house now. You can do whatever you want. Right? He tells me that legit in front of everybody. And the fucking door opens. The door opens. One of the hardest fucking doors to open. Opens all nice. Right? Hold on. And then I'm like, yo, what the fuck? We all look at each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm not going in there. I'm like, Jess, go in there and find this suitcase. And there's a bunch of shit in that suitcase. And there's a sunroof, right? Sunroof, is that what they're called? Is that what they're called? Sunroofs or the moon roofs or whatever the fuck they're called. So in that room, there's one of the lights to come in, right? So the door opens. My cousin Jess walks in. The light from the moon is shining directly on this suitcase. Bro, he like legit was like, what the fuck? Grabs it, right? And he brings it in. He's like, bro, it was under the light, which is creepy as fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then my cousin's dad, who's also his name is Jesse. He goes, there's only one song I want, if that's okay. And I'm like, hey, I'm sure my mom would be fine with that. And my grandfather's like, you guys can have whatever you want. And my uncle goes, yeah, I want this song. So we're like, all right, we open the suitcase and there's fucking papers like a motherfucker, right?
It was a soundtrack to Coco.
No, listen.
I was
So,
literally
I was
thinking
waiting
of
for
Coco.
somebody to mention this.
God, thanks for interrupting my story.
Sorry,
God damn.
Couldn't help it.
Fuck. Anyway, so it was right there. Yeah, cool.
Right at the top.
No. Then we opened the file,
Yeah.
and it's that fucking song.
See?
Like, I was like, yeah, well, I can't wait to leave. I'm like, yeah, all right, we're leaving in like an hour. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
Right. And it was nothing scary as in boo, but it was
Yeah.
scary like how the fuck that all that shit just happened. And it was a bitch to lock that door again. I was like,
Have you been down
you're
there?
like,
since?
really?
no, I need to go
now.
back. This happened like 2 years ago.
This happened to
Yeah, that's why it's like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
I want to
Yeah.
go check out this door.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
But see, I don't fuck with it. There's supposed to be all this weird shit on this land that people been like trying to get to. And I don't fuck with it.
Like, what do you mean, like, weird shit? Like,
So, for example, my cousin Jess will tell you there was one time my aunt was holding him and was telling him, don't open your eyes, don't open your eyes. And there was witches flying around. And he remembers this. He was telling me this on the ride back to the, because we were just talking about fucking,
Scoopies.
yeah, I know, Scoopy. Spooky ass shit, right? And he was like, yeah, he goes, I remember when there was witches flying. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He goes, bro, I was like 10 years old. My aunt was carrying me and telling me, don't look up. And I looked up and there was 3 witches in the town flying fucking around, like making fun of my aunt and shit. Or some shit like that, throwing, because here we go. See,
Go.
now we're going to go all deep into this shit.
This is what we wanted.
My aunt is all into this shit, right? So I guess there was like some beef. I don't know. I don't even want to say it, but some shit happened where blah, 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 where they fuck with each other and all this other stuff. So, yeah. It's crazy. But see, again, I don't fuck with it. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to look for whatever it is people are trying to find. You know what I mean? Like, I respect the land. I respect whatever's there, and I'm not playing that fucking game. I'm not playing Ouija. I'm not going to grab a Ouija board like, what do you want? What am I going to get for my birthday? You know, no, fuck that, dude. I don't fuck with it.
Got you.
Yep.
But before we forget, Carlos, you just mentioned that you had a story with the Ouija board.
I do. So I was, I don't know, maybe 9, 10 years old. And I, like I said earlier, I had all my cousins were older. And they ended up making, they had we had a sleepover, right? So a couple of his friends slept over. And we drew a Ouija board. And then we took the top of the Kool-Aid, like the plastic of the Kool-Aid cap.
The lid.
And we cut out a little triangle. And
It's fucking ridiculous.
yeah.
Sponsored by Kool-Aid.
This is how
Sponsored by
fucking
Kool-Aid.
scary movies start, bro.
I know.
This
Well,
is that, like,
dude, I was a little
what
kid.
was it,
I was
Veronica?
the youngest
I
one.
think they did that in Veronica or something like that. But go ahead.
I was the youngest one. So then everyone was like, "Oh no, someone's gonna move it," you know. So my cousins, you know, they're like barely touch it, and then the thing started moving. Like you ask it a question, we're like, yes or no, and we're like, "How is it move? Someone's moving it, right?" Because they're my cousins. I didn't trust them at all, right? So then I went, and my other cousin, we were about the same age, so we're like, promise, swear to God, you're not gonna touch it. Swear to God, say it,
Ah, my mama.
on my mama. So the shit started moving. Like I wasn't touching it. And the thing was like, oh, and they tell you they're like, whatever you do, don't pull away because you're gonna take the spirit with you. So now I'm like, the thing's fucking moving. I don't want to touch it no more. So we were asking a question. They're like, tell them that what's your name? And it went 666, and I'm like, what does it mean? They're like, that's the devil. I was like, oh, can I let go? Can I let go? Oh man, it was terrible. But the thing was freaking moving. It was a piece of like the side of a box, like a cardboard box, and a plastic, cover. And the damn thing was like moving around like it had wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So-
fuck that.
No,
No.
It was pretty. Oh, and then the song Hotel California started playing on the and my neighbor was like, dude, that's like the devil song. I'm like, what is going on right now? Why is the devil here? Like, where's God?
This episode keeps getting spookier and spookier.
I know! I'm dead scared.
You mean dead scared entertainment.
Come on. Let's just tell the listeners they can have more fantastic fun after the show on deadscaredentertainment.com.
She's right. There you can find all our episodes of Verda Darano, drawing videos, and most importantly, our store.
We've got t-shirts, hoodies, and more.
It's a great way to show your spooky pride, as well as fund some frightening film projects.
It's like putting money back in your pocket. So don't forget them all. Head on over to
deadscaredentertainment.com. And now, back to Verda Darano.
That's it. I'm not sleeping tonight.
You don't have anything scary happen to you, Kyle?
A lot of things, but tune into the last episode of this season and you'll find out.
Of this season or last season?
This season.
Okay.
Last season was
Me. So
Was
if you want to
your-
hear
yeah.
if you want to hear some really good stuff,
I don't actually.
if you want to hear
I
us
don't.
argue, that's the last.
honestly, a good chunk of this
Yeah.
podcast, like at least that one in particular, was us just completely just bashing each other, but then we were laughing the whole time too. It was hilarious. That's the one thing I will say about this podcast. We have a blast on this shit. We have a blast.
Do you have a
Not-
blast on this, Kyle?
no.
I don't think you do.
I don't. I'm tortured.
I think your brother has a blast scaring the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so does the guest as well. But
Because you're an easy target.
well, not really.
I move. I move. I dodge.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's your experiences out like dealing with like stuff like with your grandfather.
So you believe in witches?
I don't not believe. That's the problem. Because I don't want to fuck with it. Like I would never denounce God or the devil or anything. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not gonna false flag either. You know, I ain't gonna throw nothing down. I'm neutral as fuck. You know what I mean? I'm just like, hey man, as long as it skips me and my family, I'm straight. You know what I mean? Like I'm
That's like the safest way to approach
right,
it, honestly.
right. But
'Cause once you pick a
but it's
side,
out of
you're in.
respect. But it's out
I
of
understand
respect.
that. I do understand.
It's
that.
out of respect. If there's a scary house on the block, I'm not walking by it. I'm going to cross the street and go around it. Not because I'm scared, but because I respect it not to fuck with it. But everyone always has that one white friend that wants to fucking go in. Fucking, hey, let's see who can spend the night. Fuck that.
Nah,
Hell
you're right.
no. I've seen enough movies. We all die first. No. I'm not doing it.
No,
Yeah.
serious.
That's why when they used to invite me to the Joliet prison, they're like, "Oh, let's go to this
Fuck
haunted
no.
Joliet
I
prison."
got
I'm like,
invited
"You
to
must be out
that.
of your
I
fucking
said
mind."
no.
Right.
I
Right.
got,
I'm gonna go pay for the. Shoot.
Like, let's go play in the cemetery. Bro, people are buried there out of respect. Why would you even play in there? Two, I'm not fucking
No.
no. You know, like no. That's that again, I'm a disrespectful motherfucker. But not when it comes to shit like that. Absolutely not.
There you go. There you go. I don't blame you too because it's true. You never know what you're.
I don't
what you're
trust you,
dabbling
bro. I don't know what you're saying.
See, the funny thing is, no, I'll say this. I love this stuff. Like, I love this stuff. This is my bread and butter. This is what gets me through the days, like the spooky shit. But at the same time,
Would you be a fucking ghost hunter?
No,
You're lying.
no, dead serious. I
He's a
wouldn't be.
bat hunter.
You're a bat hunter.
I
Are
work
you looking
with
for
bats.
Batman?
No, I work with bats.
You work with bats?
Yeah, so
Are you
like I
trying to be a
rescue.
bat?
Huh?
Are you trying to be a bat?
Nah.
He thinks he is
Yeah.
Count Dracula.
Sure.
Really?
I'll say this. I'll give you the explanation because this is the lead up. A lot of my life, what's kind of led up to my existence at this point, has led me to literally anything that makes up that sort of character, that sort of world, that sort of culture.
Plays the
that,
violin.
it's like our culture is so heavily rooted.
Sleeps in a casket.
We're building a casket.
Oh my
Building.
god, bro, you're creepy as fuck.
I know, very charming too, sometimes. But no,
Creepy as fuck.
when it comes down to this, it's like me working. First and foremost, my passion is working with bats and working with animals. So like I have like a very soft spot in my heart for working with misunderstood creatures in particular. And then on top of it, culturally working with the Roma, like just being Roma and the music from Eastern Europe and that sort of that whole mentality. that-
Eastern Europe is a scary fucking place.
Exactly. And see, a lot of the reasons.
Transylvania is real.
Exactly. And see, our family comes from regions very close to all that. So all that was born within that area. And then also the reason it was brought to sort of modern Europe and to the modern world was because our people were more or less kicked out or just forced out.
Who are your people?
The Romani people.
The Romani people.
Yes. So when it comes down to this, like we're Hungarian and Slovak, essentially. But the culture that we more or less identify with is the Romani people. So essentially, Indian people that eventually, were outcasts within their own right within India, were then banished and kicked out or had to assimilate by force in order to remain in certain places as they traveled westward. So for our people in particular, what kept us at least safe to some extent was our musicianship and our ability to be entertainers, just in general. Whether
As
that-
Hungarian Bashwalde Romangre is our Vitsa, our tribe.
But your entertainment is creepy and scary.
Exactly. It all just fits right into that. So see, having that culture.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
It
no,
is.
believe me, like
It is. It's portrayed in movies and TV shows and fucking history
Exactly.
books and everything. It's scary as fuck.
So wait, let's ask him a question. What
Mm.
is your depiction of what you've grown up to see for the Romani people? Who do you think we are? What do you think we are?
I always think of the crystal ball.
bingo.
Yeah,
We waited for it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
you uncultured.
No, you're asking me a question, right? You're asking me a question and I'm being honest.
No,
No,
I'm glad.
yeah.
It's not
We
even crystal, it's
expect it.
red.
We expect
At least
it.
that's what I remember. You know? I remember jewels, like all the jewels you guys would have.
Mhm.
And all of them are fucking tainted with fucking evil shit or fucking crazy shit. Or it doesn't even have to be evil, but like something will do something, you know?
Yeah, and you know who you can thank for that? The author of Dracula. I'll explain why. I'll give you both a little bit of a history lesson. When our Roma,
Bram Stoker?
yeah, Bram Stoker. When
Mhm.
he was writing, he wrote like a bunch of short stories as well. One of them was, I think, it was just called The Gypsy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stories was about this young couple that went to go to this gypsy encampment that was sort of like holding a festival, like an autumn festival essentially. And during that, the young lady was cursed or told that she was gonna die very soon.
Like the talisman.
Exactly, something along those lines. So what happens is that story kind of catches a little bit of fire. Obviously, Dracula was his kind of crown jewel, but mind you, that was after like post. I forgot how they say it, posthumous or something. Essentially, after he died. But the reason why stories like that were so popular and why that became like the sort of like the image within like modern, like narratives is because when our people came into London, into France, into like Western Europe, we were the others, and we were sort of the dark ones that were coming in. Mind you, Raquel and I are as white as ghosts, but at the same time, like our culture is completely like that, like Eastern European Asian mixture that was brought in. So we were the
It's
others.
Eastern European and like Southwest Asian. Like, because
Exactly.
I've seen some,
Exactly.
yeah, there's
Mhm.
some darkness in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like,
But see, that's what's scary about people, right?
mhm.
It's when you don't know somebody, you're automatically frightened by them. And then when you don't know their history or where they're from, for instance, like your people, your bloodline, it frightens people because they don't know where the fuck you're from. They don't know where to follow that bloodline, and that makes you scary,
exactly.
you know?
And
And-
a lot of people don't stay to actually hear the story. A lot of them will say like, "Oh, okay, that's what you are. Okay, but you're a good person. I get it. Cool, great, bye."
Yeah.
And they don't question it. You know?
But you know, you have to think Peaky Blinders. Now you guys are badasses.
Period.
That's right.
Yep.
Pa ora.
Yeah. By order of the Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. See, and that's part of the reason why we also created this production company, is because we realized in America we have little to no representation. And if you look at all the major stories, whether it be within film or whether it be within literature, whenever you
Well, the representation's there, but it's
Exactly.
wrong. It's wrong.
exactly, so
Yeah.
we're here to twist it.
Yeah. To
That's
put it
what-
back the right way.
But also at the same time too, our people don't want so much of our culture out there because we're so secluded and we're continuously being misrepresented, right? So it's
Exactly.
also coming out there and trying to be respectful and not giving all of us to everyone and keeping those, sacred things to ourselves.
Yeah. So
So-
it's like a sort of more or
But you
less.
guys don't have land, right?
No.
No.
Nationally, in terms of like, if you would have to say like, it's more of a case by case basis, depending on like, see, our family, we have a particular village that is in now modern day Slovakia, that was a part of like the Austro-Hungarian Empire, way back when, that we came from. So we essentially have like a land that we did come from, but at the same time, in terms of like an actual national space that is for us, none.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So where was your land?
So like our land, it was called, our family, two ways, because we're those that very interesting people that like to keep it within the family. That's just culturally how it is. It's called Viets. That's the name of the village that we're from. It's called Viets. It's in modern day Slovakia. It's about maybe, I want to say, about 60 miles away from Kosice. That's like a very big city out in Slovakia. And it's about maybe double that from Budapest. But again, that was a part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire at the time. That's why.
So does Slovakia accept?
No.
No, right?
Nowhere in Europe are we accepted.
Very little spaces, and then again, those are in closed, like sort of closed, cliquey sort of cultures, or like sort of like communities. So like I have friends, she has friends that are all the way out from Europe, and unless it's to do business within music, particularly, rarely do our culture and like just sort of the average Hungarian or the average European, rarely do they mingle as friends. We could be wrong, essentially, too. Obviously, it's a different day and age, but from what we're told, it's very separated. And there's a lot
Do you
of
guys
this-
speak like 5 languages?
She
I speak a little bit.
she
of
speaks a
the
little
bit.
Romanes. I speak the most out of at least my generation. So this is a part of the reason also why I did all
Because
this.
I know I've known 2 gypsies in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and they are fucking smart as fuck and can speak 5 languages.
Mm-hmm. I'm learning Hungarian now because we don't speak actually Hungarian. We speak the language is called Romanes, and mind you, that changes based on which tribe you're from. It also changes from which village you're from as well too.
Damn. Well, here, clear this up for me. Is saying gypsy wrong?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So what do I say? Or what should people say?
Romanes.
Romanes?
Yeah. Roma.
Roma, or like a lot of people refer to as Romani. That's basically Romani, Roma, or Rom. That's it.
So where the fuck did gypsies come from?
They came from Southwest India, and then from essentially
That word
No,
came
the word.
the
The
word.
the word. Oh, that came from the idea that Europeans.
You understood. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, I'm so used to this sort of like going all the way back into history. So essentially, once we were making our way westward, a lot of people believed that we were Egyptians, that we came from Africa.
Oh, dude, that makes sense.
Because we were very dark.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was the belief that we were almost either like, again, Middle Eastern or Egyptian. So coming from like sort of that like Northern Africa region and made our way into Europe.
That's kind of dope. That fucked up. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Exactly. It's crazy.
It's cool when you learn where shit comes from and you're like, that makes fucking sense.
And also the word gypped. That's
considered
gypsy,
like now
the same thing. But I feel like a lot of people,
Gypped, like what? You got gypped off?
yeah.
Like robbed?
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
You
yeah.
see the connection?
I see the connection.
You know that girl? She's really popular right now. It's like an older lady. She says, Arizona pickpocket or something.
Arizona pickpocket?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a TikTok
trending
thing.
sound on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, right? People looked into like what she does and why she does it. She's an activist, right? I guess, quote unquote, whatever. But she racially profiles Roma, and when they're around, she says that. So
what does that mean?
So that sound is literally based upon people like us.
Now, see, this
For-
is the
for-
first time hearing about that. I've seen it, but I never knew that that's what that was about.
Yeah, but for no, she's doing it for no reason. Just because they look like people who are gonna steal, right? Why?
Exactly.
Why?
That's kind of fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and just
So
imagine.
we're known for being people who steal
Yeah.
and who read palms and.
Oh yeah, palm reading. That's another thing.
Yeah, we
all
do
different
of
types of
that, but-
divination and all that stuff.
What else is one of those crazy
So-
stereotypes?
Like you have that, you have the tarot.
Tarot cards, yeah.
What else is another thing? Like
Is any of that actually real though?
yes
No.
and no, depending on.
No, it
depending on the
has to
visa.
be in some way. And I don't mean it in an insulting way, but like the story comes from something.
So
Right?
So to give you an example,
Yeah.
one of the things was this was again going into the idea of the entertainment. Now this is where it starts to get a little bit of a gray area.
Right. Right.
Is that
It-
at
yeah.
first what it was is we were more or less tradesmen, blacksmiths, musicians, horse breathers. Because I can't speak English right now. More or less again.
Say it in Roma.
Oh
I'm just
my-
kidding.
How would you say that?
I'm
now?
just joking.
Now you got me thinking.
I'll put him on the spot.
Isn't
Yeah.
gray?
Yeah, but I'm not sure how to say trainer. Like that would be like.
I don't know how.
I'm
to
sorry. Carry on, bro.
Well, anyways.
Yes.
Yeah. So the idea is, like skilled tradesmen. That's because that's what kept us in towns for the most part. But then there was a point in time in which we reached certain areas or certain regions where we were able to dabble into divination. So we're more or less, it was based on the culture that we were more or less kind of traveling to. So like in particular with tarot, what I was more or less told, and what I kind of learned from my own research. And again, I could be dead wrong because it's not like necessarily recorded 100%. This is more hearsay. Once we reach sort of Italy in particular, that's where that particular, like those cards, the original tarot cards were just played as a normal game, like sort of a street game, kind of.
Oh, it was a game?
It was a game,
Oh,
but
shit, I didn't know
eventually
that.
it was turned into used for divination. It was used for sort of against that the idea of
So they were like the original Pokemon cards?
exactly. And now the difference is at this point is now people are like, okay, we can go and we can actually tell you your future. And again, meant for entertainment, but eventually people it turned into an art. It turned into a actual practice that a lot of Roma today still bank on heavily, and especially with sort of these new age beliefs and this.
So then they're using the shit, like the what did we just say? The fucking, god damn it.
I kind of get where you're coming from. So essentially, it's like they're using the stereotype.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
so they're using a stereotype as a
banking in
profit.
on it.
As a
Exactly.
profit.
Exactly. Because
They're
people,
jipping you off. No, I'm just kidding.
But actually, some people will actually admit to it too.
yeah,
If they're not putting power behind the cards or whatever that they're doing, they're
exactly.
They're just playing the fucking game.
they're just playing the game.
Exactly. And see, that's the difference. It's more or less, it depends. When it comes down to this, it's more or less, it's like the way I see it personally. This changes per person. I see it as you can use it as an idol, you can use it as a channeling method, or you can just see it as it is what it is. Pieces of paper, or like what a crystal
Like
ball.
again, I wouldn't fuck
glass.
with it. The crystal ball thing I was right? That's
That's the
a
thing. That's what
Roman
Omani think.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing is because so many different little things were sort of popping up, and again, some of them having validity within other cultures that we eventually picked up, or it could
Because
be-
of all the travel.
exactly.
So you guys kind of gathered all the fucking
Mhm.
crazy shit.
And mind you, though, all that sort
Well, I
of
get it because it was for entertainment.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, see, but this is where our family differed.
And also, too, a lot of the people back then could not get jobs, so that was the only way to make money was to do it through entertainment.
Like a circus.
yeah, like a circus.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people think of us like if you look at like
First, we were enslaved.
well, yeah. Now that's well,
First,
you're
we were
going.
enslaved, and we worked for kings and queens. And then, yeah.
Isn't Zoltan?
Everything.
Isn't that a gypsy?
Exactly.
Or Roman?
So
Yeah, I'm
what
sorry.
it
I keep saying
is-
gypsy now. Now I feel bad
No.
saying that word. I apologize.
No, yeah, a lot of people, to us, we're not offended because we also use it in our everyday life, but we do want to, open
So you
up
walk
the-
around and be like, yo, what up, my gypsy? You do? Oh my God. And they're like, yo, don't say the G word.
yeah.
Depends. I'll say for me, it depends on.
Don't
the
say it with a hard
context.
G.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Gypsy.
Gypsy.
It's,
Yeah.
Is it pronounced gypsy or
Yeah.
yipsy?
You
or
got
It's
it.
pronounced gypsy.
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 Oh, excuse me. Sounds so
It's
French.
There was a
I'm
point.
I'm a classy gypsy.
Yeah.
Just say
Gypsy.
gypsy.
That's what this one thinks she is. She's a classy gypsy. See?
Did you hear the snap?
I heard it
this now.
both.
Dude, where's your wallet?
That's it. Podcast over.
No, that's crazy though.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm interviewing you guys because I'm like learning so much.
But no, but this is sort of the conversations that we were looking to have at some point too, because a lot of times we've just interviewed family or just people that more or less knew what we were and just we kind of like just stood with the sort of the spooky vibes of everything, because that really is what this was for, was to tell scary stories. But at the same time, to get down to the nitty gritty of this is also just one thing that I was hoping to get into as well. Because that's part of the reason why I've even interviewed so many people so far that work with bats. A lot of people have a lot of misconceptions of them, and realizing that until you actually hear the story, you actually know the facts. There's very little that people realize, or it takes some time to realize that, wow, without them, our world would not be what it is today. Like if, say for example, we would wipe out all the bats in general, just across America alone, we would be covered from head to toe in bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Covered.
Yeah, that ain't
No
no.
tequila, no corn, no whatever sort of crops you got going on, wherever that may be throughout, even tobacco too. Same thing, gone.
Yeah, the only reason I know a little bit about bats is because the neighborhood I grew up in, we had fruit bats everywhere,
There you go.
and our guy across the street, his dad was like, he fucking knew everything about bats. He's like, no, don't hurt them, don't hit them with brooms. Like they're eating all the bugs and cleaning up the garbage, and we're like, what the fuck? This guy's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's true.
Fucking vampire, because he was a skinny old man too. So
Ding, ding, ding.
creepy.
I ain't that skinny. I still
He
got
walked like he walked like he walked like Dracula.
I ain't that skinny yet. You know, I still got to
Yeah,
intermittent
huh?
fast. You know, I got to watch my calories and all that. I'm working on it. I'm almost there. But so, yeah. I mean, I'm glad that we were able to talk about this too, because what kind of separates us from like those sort of misconceptions about the culture, and what kind of brings us into why we're doing Dead Scared in general, is because we grew up just as entertainers. Our family is to give you just a taste of what it is. The Green Mill off of Broadway here in the city, historic place, one of Al Capone's main hangouts. My family, my great-grandfather, or both great-grandfathers, I think, both grandfathers, my father, and I played on the same stage. Just to give you an example, I play violin, guitar, and sing, but I played violin in particular. My father's a drummer, piano and bass player on my grandfather's, and then cymbalum player, and then I think Jijak was a violinist too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. A violinist and violist. But that's my point. Is like there's such a long line of history of just within the musical
Ooh,
world,
another cool
too.
fact.
Oh, there you
when
go.
John Dillinger was shot in the alley on Lincoln. Is it him? John Dillinger?
John
Yeah.
Dillinger.
My grandfather was actually performing with, our family members for the rest of the gangsters. We were performers for the mafia.
Some of the biggest names within organized crime called us for their biggest events.
Yeah.
So-
So that night, they remember, I guess, getting notified that
They just rushed in. Somebody rushed
Yeah.
on the street and said Dillinger just got killed. So
Yeah.
everybody ran out to
And-
see what happened.
that was it.
Mind you, our grandfather was across the street.
And it
doing
used to be
his
a really
normal thing.
popular lounge, speakeasy, up top of the building.
That's crazy.
Have you seen it?
What?
Have you been to the spot where John Dillinger
That's
was
right by
shot
DePaul.
and
We
killed?
would walk.
It's
We'd
in the
walk
alley.
past
There's
this all
Yeah,
the
it's in the
time.
alley.
We got the
a
mural and
now,
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's creepy there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're like, man.
There's a lot of. I went on a date once and did that sort of Chicago ghost tour thing. There are so many places
You
just
would
off
do
of
that.
State Street. Hey, I have a type. All right. We'll
So are you still with this person?
No.
I fucking
It was a
would've
one
guessed
and
it.
one and done. One and done.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
it.
can imagine.
Ah.
I would hate my first date to be a fucking ghost tour.
She suggested it,
Yeah, to see if you were
So-
a real person.
but it was worth it. It was worth it though.
No,
but I
he's a
will say,
vampire. You guys
there was
gotta
this one
understand.
right across the street from the Walgreens on State Street. So if you're familiar, right next to the ABC7 recording studio,
Oh,
that
yeah.
alley right next to that, that used to be, I forgot the name of the theater, but there was one of the hugest, like one of the biggest fires in Chicago history that happened, and so many people were trapped and had to like sort of jump out of the windows just to escape the fire that happened at that time. And like I think
The
there was-
Chicago fire?
no, this was
Was
just
this
like a
another
random
fire?
fire within this theater.
Okay.
And what happened was that so many people died just being trampled on, trying as everybody was trying to exit, let alone jumping out the windows. And that whole alley was just covered in bodies. And I will say this. I was there, and mind you, this was like a summer night, beautiful night. Like that's like the type of night you go out with your boys, you go and like, just like hit it
Yeah.
up and just like be crazy on the street. But at the same time, the air just in this alley in particular was just so thick. Like you can tell that like something. You see what I mean? It's like it just gives.
See, I
you
don't
the
fuck with
creeps.
that. I wouldn't even walk by it.
See, but that's my point. Is like if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah,
once
but
you
even
have the
but you know
knowledge,
when you get the chills.
exactly.
I'm always like, yo, keep walking, because I was
Exactly.
told like sometimes it's like someone trying to communicate with you, or like
Mhm.
you're walking by
Yeah.
like an area of like death, or
Mhm.
like there's a soul
well,
around.
the whole
like, nope.
Chicago River's death.
I keep fucking walking, bro. I ain't
you
even gonna
understand?
turn
Dude,
around.
Ray will ignore you with you being in front of him. He can definitely ignore
Yeah.
the dead.
Absolutely 100%, bro. Fuck that. I don't fuck with. I respect it though.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not gonna pretend you're like fake, but I'm not gonna pretend you're real. You know.
Listen, I eat solid food. Blood is only a treat every now and then. It's all good. You're fine.
I hate
Don't worry
you.
about it.
I
What the
hate you.
fuck?
I'm
That's so
leaving.
random.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Well, I think that just about covers it.
Covers everything. Do you have
Yeah.
another question for me, Cal?
I do. So what can you tell our viewers about what you got going on? What's coming up next? Any important events where they can reach you at? And kind of check out some of your stuff.
So as far as things going on, let's see. Well, Done by Design. This is where you guys are at. Done by Design Studio. This is our podcast room. Carlos Medina is our producer, our guy behind the scenes over there. He's hiding behind the microphone and the monitor.
That's right.
So he's the one that makes magic happen. We just, we're just lucky enough to be in his presence while we're talking in the mic, right?
Very true.
So another cool thing about this place is that we do have a podcast room for anybody who wants to use it, start their own podcast. We could always edit it for you, record it for you, even go live on YouTube if you wanted to do your podcast. So that's a really cool thing we have. The location here, for those of you that don't know where it's at, it's 215 West Ohio. On the second floor, we have a whole area we're building right now for 2 other photography studios. We have a music studio coming in hopefully in the next 3 months. They're going to start building it out in a couple weeks. So as far as this wonderful spot, there's a lot going on. We're always doing casting calls, of course, working behind the scenes for fashion shows and stuff. So if anybody ever wants to work on, their modeling or getting their photos done or building a comp card, they're more than happy to hit us up. And for anybody who wants to get in the industry, as far as like behind the scenes, like either being a stylist or a designer, makeup artist, photographer, videographer, they can definitely hit us up, Carlos or I, either one of us. We'll be happy to bring you in, see what you got, see what we can teach you. We don't really ever turn anyone away. I always go by this one rule that I was taught, by my father, was like never turn down a meeting. So I have no problem meeting with people, seeing what they're all about, and then you make your decision from there. So it's kind of something I always live by.
It's a great way to live by, especially within the creative field, because you never know who you're meeting with and where they can end up.
Yeah,
and
of course.
How you can make some magic together.
And after one meeting, when someone's full of shit.
Very true.
Yeah. So
You get the vibe within the first 5 minutes.
yeah, of course.
Ray's full of shit.
Yeah.
Ray's full of shit.
Go for it, Gypsy.
Yes. Little nepotiz.
How about some advice for us young, up and coming photographers?
Advice for up and young coming photographers: don't stop shooting. Try everything. Learn how to use a flash. It's very important.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I
That's
had a
very
friend of mine
true.
say like, "Oh, I can only do outside stuff because I love natural lighting." Like, what about inside? They're like, I can't use the flash.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy.
That's what I told them.
Yeah. It's embarrassing, right? Where you're like stuck in a room and you don't want to, stop shooting because you don't know how or what you're doing because you don't know how to use a flash. Yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, so never stop shooting. Always try learning. Learn your camera. Doesn't matter what kind of camera you buy, even if your iPhone. A lot of people don't even know how well an iPhone actually works and how it can make your photos better. Just keep working. Mess with the settings. The settings are dope as fuck. You can shoot raw on your phone, even though it's. Let's be honest, iPhone photos aren't that great. They just look great on Instagram. But anytime you blow them up or make them bigger for a post or something like that, they're gonna come out pixelated. You know?
Yeah.
It might be a little better than normal, but yeah, just keep shooting. Never stop.
Well, you heard it here, folks. So, with that being said, and as we like to end all of our podcast episodes, Raquel, or Esma Kallai in this case.
Makala.
Get me out of here.
So, as Esma Kallai says,
Giacor mangav tuke bachtalotrom preko tunyaripen. Till then, I wish you safe travels through the darkness.
This broadcast of Verda Darano was brought to you by the talents of Pierce and Raquel Horvath, creators of Dead Scared Entertainment, with the help of Piroshka Raj. You've been listening to a production from Dead Scared Entertainment, where terror is our tradition. Good night.